Well, there's a nope. That's definitely a nope. Absolutely a nope. Now there's a nope on the ceiling, and now there's a giant nope crawling out of a bathtub. Nope. Hello all, Rich here from WhatCulture.com, and I said I was dreading this week's Doctor Who because there were massive spiders in it. There were indeed massive spiders, and, well, I enjoyed it, though. In fact, it was really very good. So a weird place to start, but we got to see the new time vortex in action. Usually whatever is used on the title sequence is used in the show, but in this case, that's not the case. It's psychedelic, it's trippy, and it's utterly gorgeous. Then we were treated to a positively sexual transition from in the time vortex through the top of the TARDIS and into the control room where the Doctor and co are attempting to pilot the ship together. Proper good stuff. Up. Sega Nakanola is wonderful. I've already gushed about the new theme tune and mentioned the boom at the beginning making me weak at the knees, but as the TARDIS landed, I was once again reminded as to just how good the music is on this new series of Who. Up. Since we're back on Earth, we're doing Family Matters again. Family has played a huge part in Who, especially in the Russell T Davies era, and we've already been introduced to Ryan's side of things, but this time, it was time to be introduced to Yaz's. With a father who can't cook, an unemployed sister giving Ryan some unwanted attention, and a mother wrapped up in all things spidery, Yaz's family plays a central part in Arachnids in the UK. And it's always fun to see a companion that's been to an alien world and seen things you would never have believed try and settle back in to reality. Plus, we got to see the Doctor's classic ramblings when in the presence of humans. She wants a purple sofa. As you do. We've seen it somewhat before, but here it was dialed up to 11. Thankfully, it never got to Matt Smith levels of really, really annoying. Up. So Graham's back home. He's been avoiding grieving for Grace since episode 2, and now he can't run anymore. And the reality sets in when Graham heads home. We knew we'd be seeing Grace again in some way, shape or form since Sharon D. Clarke was playing a recurring role in this series, and here she was again. A vision. A voice, not haunting Graham, but guiding him. We only had one episode with the two of them actually together, but their on-screen relationship is growing more and more as the episodes continue. Graham has become one of the best developed companions at this point, and Bradley Walsh is doing an incredible job portraying this grieving grandfather who is still bursting with positivity and curiosity. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's to come with Graham. Up. Also, they've not gone too overboard with it yet, but I'm hoping they don't overdo the Grace visions, only bring her in as and when they'd need to, when Graham's in peril or when he's got a truly difficult decision on his hands. Right now though, you're nailing it. Chris Noth plays a character called Robertson, an American businessman who is apparently important. I enjoy that they keep this side of things under wraps for most of the episode, only hinting about who he really is when other characters walk in and go, wow. Turns out he's running for president in 2020, and he's a c***. Doctor Who is so quintessentially British, so when Americans are on, they make a big deal of it. He's a proper stereotype. He wants to shoot things. Great. Giant spiders, lock and load. Problem solved. That's how Americans do it. Blimey, he's running for president because he's a businessman and he's good at what he does. Sound familiar? He's a parallel to Trump, right? Well, no, actually. He's running against him. Trump is mentioned by name in Doctor Who, something I never thought I'd see. And it was excellent. Up. So after some tense web traversing and wardrobe opening, we saw a spider. It's big, it's creepy, and I almost set fire to my television set. CGI was a little hit and miss across this episode. They are on a TV budget after all, but it was pretty acceptable all things considered. Now they did sometimes look a little plasticky and occasionally the lighting was off, but it didn't at all detract as to how bloody creepy these things were. The big boy under the floor and coming out of the bathtub? No! Also, is it just me or are spiders more spooky when they're on the ceiling? Especially that large lad in the ballroom. No thank you. Up for the spiders anyway. Something I never thought I'd say. Although, if they did this episode back in 2005 with the CGI back then, oh man, this episode would have looked shit. Okay, can I give something a down because there was a swarm of nopes coming toward the camera? Or is that too biased? Ugh, creepy. Okay, the map and marker transition. There is nothing more to say. Does this count as my weekly cinematography up? Sure, up. So something I really did enjoy about this episode is everything was spelled out. How this was happening, why this was happening. The hotel, Robertson's businesses, the waste, how the lab played into it all, everything was tied up pretty neatly, bar a few things I will get to later. It was such an interesting concept and something that we don't always see in Doctor Who. It was all terrestrial. No aliens involved. This was humans disrupting nature, not deliberately of course, but still things went drastically wrong. These episodes are few and far between, but they're brilliant. It reminds me of the Russell T Davies era Cybermen, conceptualized and produced on Earth as a parallel, not from Mondas or wherever we've had the Cybermen before. I think this was a great episode and most likely scared the crap out of many viewers. Up. When the team are heading over a bridge in Sheffield to go and look at Dr. Jade's spider lab, Graham hands Ryan a letter that was on his doormat when he went home to grieve. Turns out it's from Ryan's dad, a character we knew we weren't going to be seeing much of in the series. As Graham and Ryan go looking for bigger spiders later on in the episode, Ryan explains the contents of the letter to Graham, not only confiding in him about a subject that he's usually very private about, but brought up the fact that his dad referred to himself as Ryan's proper family. Ryan doesn't like this, and even though he doesn't bluntly say it, he's pretty much saying that without his gran, Graham is now his proper family. We knew from episode 1 that Ryan and Graham never really saw eye to eye, mainly with Ryan not accepting that Graham is his new granddad. This relationship was hinted at again in another episode, but it was brushed off. Now that Ryan's home and he realizes in the same way that Graham does that Grace is definitely gone, he finally appreciates that Graham is all the family he has left. It's really touching and a wonderful development for Ryan. I'm hoping this relationship continues to grow throughout the series. I really do love these companions. Up. Spider Rave. Spider Rave. Stormzy Spider Rave. So jarring for Doctor Who, yet so brilliant at the same time. Up. Now we've reached the first down. Spoilers. Robertson was introduced and established as a character really well. He's a colossal twat. Then that was further reinforced with the Spider Mother's death. After reluctantly agreeing to use his panic room to lock in and leave the smaller spiders to die, he, as an American, was of course dying to shoot something. And it ended up being the Spider Mother in the ballroom, a creature growing weaker due to her size. She was terrified of the humans that stood before her. It's incredible that this episode made me feel sorry for a creature I would want to do nothing more to than catapult into the sun. I was kind of hoping that the Doctor would save her in some way, but Robertson just waltzes in and shoots it dead instead. It does further establish this character as a giant f***nut, but it brings that depressing side of Who to the table we don't see very often. Being made to feel sympathetic towards one giant nope was a brilliant direction, but I think this abrupt gunshot figuratively and literally killed it. It's a down from me. The shot was fired, then it cut to black. Then the rounding up of the episode began. However, I felt there were a couple of loose threads, or loose webs, still hanging around a bit. No, that was terrible. The spider supposedly still in Graham's loft? The spider in what's-her-name's flat? Any more spiders that left the hotel to hunt for food? Are they still out there? It's a long shot to think that Stormzy's dank reach would call them all back to the mothership from that far away. More people could die after all. Either that or folk in Sheffield have some really big-ass glasses and bits of card to let these things out the front door, or they'll go to town on them with a baseball bat. I know which one I'd choose. Still though, down. So the trio come back to the TARDIS wanting to stick with the Doctor, who was convinced now that they were home that they'd want to stay. When they reveal that they want to stay, Jodie just lights up. Doctor 13 is full of life and energy and excitement. Jodie is looking to be one of the best Doctors we've had, truly. And this Team TARDIS is just wonderful. Graham, especially. I wasn't sure about Bradley Walsh's character when he was first announced, but damn, he is just the best. Up. Finally, here's an up or a down for you, the viewer. Arachnids in the UK. Chris Chibnall wrote it, and the title is what I'm pitching to you. Arachnids in the UK. It's very dinosaurs on a spaceship, also written by Chibbers. It's a bit explicit, a bit boring, or is that just me? I want you to give this title an up or a down in the comment section down below, and why not pitch me a better title too? And I'll pin the best one and give that user a crisp high five or hide a giant spider in your house. Your choice. But there we are. Did you enjoy Arachnids in the UK, or did your arachnophobia get the better of you? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the What Culture YouTube channel for new videos every single day, and whatculture.com has news, articles, lists, and quizzes on about every topic in all of time and space. You can follow me on Twitter at PickupChangeToe. I've been Rich from What Culture, and I'll see you next week. Bye.